These are 101 facts about LEGO Star Wars games, including LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, The Complete Saga, and The Clone Wars. Most of these facts you probably won't know, but if you do, let me know in the comments. And also, if there are any other LEGO Star Wars facts you know that I don't know, let me know. Let's go. Hey everyone, it's Andrew. Did you know that in The Complete Saga, you get a trophy for getting 17,000 studs called You've Got Yourself a Ship, which is a reference to how much Han Solo charged Luke and Obi-Wan in Episode 4 for a trip in the Millennium Falcon.
17. Okay, you guys got yourselves a ship.
There's a side mission on Yavin 4 that references the Massassi, which are an ancient civilization that were enslaved to build the temples on Yavin 4 in the expanded universe. There's a Kyber brick in the Death Star canteen called Cake or Death, which is a reference to British comedian Eddie Izzard, who has a bit called Death Star Canteen in their special called Cake or Death.
What, Jeff Vader runs the Death Star? No, I run the Death Star. You Jeff Vader? No, I'm Darth Vader.
There's another achievement in the Skywalker Saga called the Chewbacca Defense, which is a reference to South Park, which, according to Wikipedia, and no, not Wikipedia, even though we're talking about Wookiees, is a legal strategy in which a defense lawyer tries to confuse the jury. And this term comes from the 1998 episode Chef Aid, which is a satire of the O.J. Simpson murder trial.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Chewbacca.
In LEGO Star Wars 3, Cody is actually missing his visor, and Captain Rex doesn't have his camera. Also, the Gonk droid in LEGO Star Wars 3 is different to the Gonk in pretty much every other LEGO game. You could say it's the most blank Gonk because it doesn't include really any details on the front. It's just a box. It's a grey box. If you use the cheat code NOCUT5 in LEGO Star Wars 3, no cutscenes will play as you make your way through the story. Also, in the Geonosis Arena level, Anakin and Obi-Wan have their lightsaber colors swapped. Obi-Wan is using the green lightsaber and Anakin is using the blue. So you might have heard about the new free-to-play Star Wars game, Star Wars Hunters, which is a 4v4 third-person arena shooter. It's currently available on Nintendo Switch, iOS, and Android. Now, every character in the game is a new Star Wars character. I personally like the look of Sentinel, a heavy-class stormtrooper who survived the fall of the Empire and actually knows how to aim. Or this is Reeve, a dark side lightsaber-wielding assassin who I'm assuming wishes she was a Sith Lord. Or Utuni, who I personally believe, alongside all other Jawas, are Sith Lords in disguise. But every character comes with their own unique set of skills and abilities, making them feel unique to all other characters in the game. You can also customize each character, swapping out skins, animations, appearances, weapons, and there are multiple different PvP game modes. Every map in the game is also inspired by Star Wars locales and will feel familiar. I'm so glad this game has finally launched, and I can't wait to play as those two Jawas who just want to slaughter every other character in the arena, mercilessly. So download Star Wars Hunters now using the link in the description or scan the QR code. Play as these Jawas and kill everyone. Jango's head is actually still in the helmet here because the old helmet style didn't have a visor. So Jango's head is just black under the helmet and there's a T-shaped cutout you can see here. Did you know that in the Complete Saga you can actually make Lando Calrissian kiss Leia's hand? If you attempt to punch or hurt Leia in any way with Lando, he will kiss her hand instead, which is super, super sweet. And it would have been even sweeter if he didn't stab everyone in the back. Did you know that you can get the Gamorrean guards to actually play their axe like a guitar? They're rocking out. They should start a new Cantina band. Indiana Jones is the only character in the Complete Saga that can't be unlocked by just progressing through the game or through using a cheat code. To get Indiana Jones as a playable character, go to the bonus room and watch the trailer for what was at the time the up-and-coming LEGO Indiana Jones game. I think it's pretty cool they already knew they were making an Indiana Jones game and decided to include him as a playable character in the Complete Saga. And as soon as the trailer is finished, you can go to the character shop and buy Indiana Jones for 50,000 studs. LEGO Star Wars 3 is the only game to mention Starkiller outside of the Force Unleashed games. Ah yes, George Lucas's most hated character, Starkiller, Galen Marek. And Starkiller is unlockable through either codes or mini-kits collected on the Defenders of Peace mission. There are multiple hidden levels in LEGO Star Wars 3, including Castle of Deception, Castle of Doom, and Castle of Salvation. On Kamino, clone trooper babies in the Complete Saga are literally a single white Lego brick in tubes. That's the clone in there. The door in the cantina that opens to a brick wall is reference to the blooper where Anakin opens the wrong door while carrying Obi-Wan on his back. This is from the Revenge of the Sith blooper reel. You might have noticed that the Complete Saga has these Jedi clones who are standing guard in disguise outside the Jedi Temple. And these weren't actually included in Revenge of the Sith, but they are from a deleted scene. For whatever reason, George Lucas decided to cut this from the final film. And we only got the part of Yoda and Obi-Wan slicing up some clones who weren't in disguise outside the Jedi Temple. If you play the final level of Episode 3 in the Complete complete saga with a co-op partner, both players will have to fight each other at the end. But unlike the Revenge of the Sith game, no matter who wins, the outcome is unfortunately still the same. During the Order 66 cutscene on Kashyyyk in episode 3, you'll notice the clones rub their heads and jump, which is basically their inhibitor chips activating, and they're about to kill all Jedi. If you're playing as Luke in episode 5, if you attempt to lift anything with the Force, he'll only be able to lift it halfway before it falling back to the ground. For example, on Dagobah, Luke can attempt to lift the X-Wing in free play, but fails to do so, just as he does in The Empire Strikes Back. The snow globe on Hoth in Echo Base can actually be broken in episode 5. If you go to the other side of it using a short character, then use a Force character, then use the Force using a Force-wielding character, you can shatter the dome. Lama Su can actually dance when you press the special attack button. As Vader, you can Force choke everyone except Geonosis Padme, because he loves her so much, he just can't do it. Did you know you can actually dance with Slave Leia? And I know that's the reason you wanted to click this video. I'm sure everyone knows that you can make the chairs dance to the Cantina music in the first level of the complete saga. But did you know you can also do this in the Skywalker Saga? It would have been strange if they included this mission without you being able to do this. It's like a classic reference to the original game. In the first level of episode 1, there's a door that's openable using an astromech, and behind the door you'll find a bunch of B1 battle droids having lunch, trying to enjoy their lunch, and then you're coming in and interrupting and killing them all. Naboo in the complete saga also allows you to be an artist, building the faces of several characters in the game. Aren't they spectacular? In the duel with Darth Maul, after he initially runs away, you can actually find and repair an N1 Naboo starfighter, my favorite ship in all of Star Wars, and let it fly out of the hangar. And I believe this is a reference to Anakin flying out of here and going up to destroy the Trade Federation ship and saving all of Naboo, even though he's only 10 years old. But he had a high midichlorian count, everyone. In the first level of episode 2, when Zam Wessel's speeder is about to crash, you can see 4 characters getting out of the way, and these are Greedo, Ponda Bubba, Dr. Evazan, and a Celestin, possibly 9 or 10 Nub. You can actually become a janitor in LEGO Star Wars. You can clean and sweep the floors of Kamino using the Force on this mop, cleaning up the place, keeping it nice and neat. 2 Kaminoans are actually watching the opening crawl on a small terminal inside this Kamino level. And if you pull this lever here on their terminal, it'll change the screen so that they're now watching a Jedi starfighter fly through an asteroid field. It's likely Obi-Wan trying to avoid Jango Fett. And if you press all these buttons on the floor in the same room in the correct order, you can start a dance party. Just like on the Naboo levels in episode 1, there is a Jango Fett mosaic, and if you use the Force on it, it will change to a clone trooper. Jango clones himself on the wall. In Attack of the Clones, you might remember this scene where you can see Jango Fett's armor in the room when he tells Boba to go and close the door. And in episode 2 of LEGO Star Wars, you can open this same door in Jango's home, and a rocket will come flying out, and you can see Jango's jetpack in there. You shouldn't open the door. The swimsuit trooper originally wore a Speedo in LEGO Star Wars 2, and even though these aren't playable characters, you can access them using mods in pretty much every LEGO Star Wars game, I believe. On the Tantive 4, there's a door which can be opened by only using a bounty hunter, and in here you can find a vehicle to build and drive around. On the Death Star level, you can enter these lifts here at the end of the level and take control of the turbo lasers to shoot down TIE fighters in space. There are actually 2 different Mos Espa pod races, one in which you have to beat Sebulba, and the other is a bonus level where you have to reach the end section before time runs out. It's a time trial. Still wish there was more pod racing in LEGO Star Wars, although the mission could be quite annoying. Did you know there are various hidden characters in the Skywalker Saga that were scrapped or just unfinished, but still remain in the game files? And some of these include the Surgical Droid, Anakin, Jedi Scarred, and even a Buzz Droid, which you can play as, kind of. You'll find a few random hat dispensers throughout the complete saga, and here is one on the Tantive 4. I love that there's a random hat dispenser on the Tantive 4, so many different hats to choose from. If you use the Stormtrooper to open this door on the Tantive 4, it leads to a room with a large window, and if you look out the large window, you can see a Stormtrooper floating in space. That poor guy, probably just trying to have some lunch and got ejected into space. And if you build the consoles in this room, you can actually send people out into space yourself. There's a closed window that you can actually open on the Tantive 4 where you can watch Darth Vader choke a rebel trooper. And if you push this Stormtrooper to here to open the door, open the ray shield with a protocol droid and kill everyone inside, including Vader, the galaxy is saved. In the Jundland Waste, there's a dark side door you can break open and find skeletons on the inside who can go for a jolly walk. And yes, you can actually find a Tusken Raider village on Tatooine, just don't bring Anakin anywhere near it. Or Shmi, for that matter. Inside the Sandcrawler in the Jutland Wastes, there's a hidden room which is openable with a protocol droid, and in here you'll find a living room with a working TV and changeable channels. You can sit and watch TV in LEGO Star Wars. You can also find a buildable T-16 Skyhopper, which is the same ship that Luke has a toy of in Episode 4. Ben Kenobi has a lawnmower at his house, as well as some washing hanging on the line. Jedi Master's got to do his laundry and cut his grass, even though he's living on Tatooine and it's sand everywhere. Have you ever wanted to experience the Polynesian spa for yourself? Well, you're in luck, my friends, because in the Mos Eisley Spaceport, if you open a Stormtrooper door here, you can find a nice relaxing spa just waiting for Boba Fett to take a dip in. And in this same room, if you turn on the showers, you actually get a mini kit, which I am naming the Polynesian Spa mini kit.
The Polynesian Spa.
There's actually a speeder wash in the Mos Eisley Spaceport, just like a car wash. And you can also see a billboard for a new speeder dealership. Go buy yourself a flashy new speeder. I mean, you gotta buy them somewhere, don't you? Do you recognize this ship that's in the middle of Tatooine in every version of Tatooine you've ever seen? This is actually called the Dowager Queen, and this first appeared in the 1997 special edition version of A New Hope. Jawas will actually try and steal your land speeder, so be careful where you park it. There's a door in the Mos Eisley Spaceport that infinitely spawns Jawas. They'll just keep coming out of here. Mos Eisley actually has a movie theater in the complete saga. If you destroy some objects in front of the red curtain and rearrange the mosaic of the LEGO logo, you can actually watch the original LEGO Star Wars trailer in black and white. If you use R2-D2 to open a door in Echo Base, you can find a room with a Stormtrooper helmet dispenser, which will stop the snowtroopers from attacking you, even though you're dressed as a Stormtrooper and not a snowtrooper. They don't discriminate. Did you know there are also skeletons in Echo Base here? You can also find a bunch of snowtroopers ice fishing in Echo Base. This is behind another door that you need to use R2 to open. You can actually repair Luke's back-to tank in Echo Base, because he's gonna need to take another bath at some point soon. Dagobah actually has a pod racing circuit. If you go exploring around the outer reaches of the map, you will find a racetrack. And on the same track, you can find a tractor. And if you complete the racetrack, it'll give you a mini kit. Yoda has a TV in his hut. I mean, what else is he gonna do? Just sitting here for how many years, just waiting to die? What else was Yoda doing here? Let's be real. Became a hermit, he made his stew, and he watched TV. In the Skywalker Saga on Dagobah, if you wander up to the clearing in the northwest of the Dragon Snake Bog, you'll find a tripedal artificial structure, and this is an E3 standard Starship lifeboat, the same craft that took Yoda to Dagobah to escape the Jedi Purge, the one we see him get into on Kashyyyk, and then he gets out of it in the deleted scene. During the opening mission of A New Hope, R2-D2 and C-3PO hurry to an escape pod aboard the Tantive 4, and the outer door of this escape pod actually reads Droid-O-Matic. At the Imperial security checkpoint in Mos Eisley, a stormtrooper is reading a newspaper with the headline "Blue Milk Sales Up." This is probably because Luke just continues to drink loads and copious amounts of blue milk. He cannot stop. The man is an addict. While on Dagobah during The Empire Strikes Back, Luke carries a photo of himself, Han, and Leia as they appeared in A New Hope. The caption on the photo is family. Aww. In Maz Kanata's castle on Takodana, there are 3 posters hanging up featuring images of musicians. I don't know what the first 2 are, but the poster on the right reads Jazz Halixet and features a character playing a guitar-like instrument from Naboo. The Halixet first appeared in the background in The Force Awakens, but is probably more commonly known from Jedi Fallen Order, where Cal Kestis plays it after using his Force Echo ability and learning how to play the guitar instantly. Man, I wish I could do that. I wish it was that easy. At the end of The Last Jedi, Chewbacca sits at the wounded Rose Tico's bedside reading a book, and after a moment he throws the book away and picks up a new one entitled Among Clouds. And the cover features young Lando Calrissian offering a bouquet of flowers to his droid Leet. There's a side mission in the Skywalker Saga to track down Malakili, who's Jabba's Rancor trainer, and the mission is called Green Harvest, which is reference to Blue Harvest, which was the production name for Return of the Jedi. While infiltrating the Star Destroyer in The Rise of Skywalker, Rey has to mind trick a stormtrooper to open a door, and Poe thinks aloud,
Did you do that to us?
What's interesting is that in one of the discarded scripts for Episode 9, Rey does exactly that. Uses her powers to force Poe to leave her behind so that she can complete her dangerous final mission alone. She uses the Force to manipulate Poe. That's some dark side stuff right there. In the middle of the chase through the asteroid field in The Empire Strikes Back, there's a gag in which we can see the Millennium Falcon from above as it spins around, firing projectiles in all directions, which is a reference to the old arcade game Asteroids. I played that back on my Windows 95. Does that tell tell you all how old I am. There's actually a Goonies reference on Kef Bir in the side quest where some treasure hunters use a map to find one-eyed Wookiee's treasure. Did you know that Princess Leia's accent has subtle changes throughout A New Hope? She originally started with more of an English accent, but then goes to her more natural American as the film progresses.
The more you tighten your grip, Tarkin, the more star systems will slip through your fingers.
Will somebody get this big walking carpet out of my way?
And this is actually referenced in the mumble mode version of the Skywalker saga. If you have mumble mode turned on, you kind of hear her progressively become more American. Did you know that you can actually find a clone of Jar Jar Binks on Exegol? Or maybe it is Jar Jar Binks himself. It's in one of Palpatine's cloning vats, the ones where Snoke comes out of. Jar Jar is also here, which proves that Jar Jar is indeed also the Sith Lord we are all looking for, like I keep telling you all. At the end of episode 5, there's a cutscene where Luke's robot hand starts running away, which is a reference to the severed hand from the Addams family. In the complete saga, if you're in the cantina and turn the music off, you'll actually notice that the cantina band stops playing their instruments and sit around looking like they don't know what to do. I love this attention to detail. If you've ever wanted to have a disco in LEGO Star Wars, you can actually do so in the episode 2 room in the cantina of the complete saga. And in the episode 5 room, you can build a snowman. Outside of the cantina in the complete saga, you can push a panel to bring up a racetrack and then race around it any way you like. And next to that, you can actually build a car to ride around the track with, and there's even a second car hidden nearby so you can race with a friend in co-op. Let me know how many of these facts about LEGO Star Wars you knew, and if there are any other facts that I don't know or I haven't mentioned, please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to check out Star Wars Hunters using the link in the description or scan the QR code. Also, come follow me on Instagram, Twitter, join my Discord and TikTok. Watch this video here for more LEGO Star Wars, and thanks for watching this. My name's Andrew, I'll catch you soon.